So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class we are going to discuss the third part for the revision series that we are doing every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. for the upcoming XAT and CMAT exam, the GK section. So this is the part 3 and today we will be discussing about the important history questions which would be helpful for you. So basically we will discuss some previous year questions and things around it so that it would be easy for you to understand these concepts. So let us begin with the questions. Let us begin with the first question, which says, which of the following is also known as Indus Valley Civilization? So your options are Chinese civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Harappan civilization, or Egyptian civilization. And I think you should be knowing the answer. This is actually a very easy question. Harappan civilization. C is the right answer to this question. Now, so let me tell you why it was called so. So basically, I'm sure you must be aware there's a river which starts like this, goes like this, starts from Tibet, goes to India, then goes to Pakistan, falls in Arabian Sea near modern day port of Karachi. Okay. So this is Indus River. Now, and it has a lot of tributaries like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. So what happened was in this region in around 1920s or 1922, I would say, a civilization was found. And that civilization was like in the around Indus region, so called as Indus Valley Civilization. And the first city that was found was Harappa, which is on the bank of Ravi River, which is one of the tributary of Indus River. Okay, that is why, since the first city that was found was Harappa, that's why Harappan's Indus Valley Civilization is also called as known as Harappan Civilization. Okay, so that is what you should know. C is the right answer to this question. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next one. And this is very interesting. They have asked question about the location that like these cities of Harappa or these cities of Indus Valley Civilization is matching which region today. Okay. So basically, first of all, let me tell you. So we have Punjab in India and there is a Punjab in Pakistan also. Similarly, like that's what you should know. Sindh is a province in Pakistan. I'm sure you must be aware of this. So they're asking you to match it. So Harappa is actually a city in Punjab state province of Pakistan. Lothal is in modern day, of course, Gujarat region, which is famous for dockyard. So this was the place where ship used to like stand. Okay, there was ships stand, I would say. Okay, then we have actually Banavali. So Banavali would be somewhere here, modern day Haryana region. So D ka 1. And we have Chanhudaro in Sindh region of Pakistan. Okay. So let me tell you where exactly these regions are. So first of all, we should see the border. So this is the border of between India and Pakistan. I'm making, here it is. Okay. है ना? अब हम लोग चलते हैं. Let's talk about the first one. Like we were talking about Lothal. So this is Lothal today in Gujarat, famous for dockyard. This is the place where ship used to come this way and they used to get stand or like there were stands of ship. है ना? Or docking is the technical word to be used, not stand, but that is what I want to explain. Second thing is this region of Pakistan. I'm making a rough sketch. This region of Pakistan is called as Sindh region. So here famous cities are Mohenjo-daro and Chanhudaro, even Kot Diji. So the most famous is Mohenjo-daro. However, they have asked question from Chanhudaro, right? So here is Chanhudaro, this one. So Chanhudaro is in Sindh, Pakistan. Then we have this region. Roughly this region is of state of Haryana. So somewhere here is Rakhigadi also today. Very famous site, Rakhigadi. Then we have Banavali and Ropar. These are the famous sites of Indus Valley Civilization in modern day Haryana of India, of course. We do not have Haryana in Pakistan. Somewhere here and somewhere here is actually Punjab in India. I'm making a rough sketch. So this is Haryana of India. This is Punjab of India. Similarly, there is Punjab in Pakistan also. And the Punjab in Pakistan has a very famous city called as Harappa. And this was asked in the exam. Harappa, Punjab in Pakistan. Okay. So this is what you should be knowing. So prominent cities I have highlighted for you because they get actually repeats these types of questions. So that like whenever it comes for again next year, I mean, you will be able to handle it effectively, easily. Okay. That's what you should know. Let's move on to the next one. And now you should be answering this question. Because I have discussed where do we find dockyard in Indus Valley Civilization. If you know the answer, I would be very happy to know. You should be answering it in the live chat. Okay. So the right answer actually is Lothal. We have just discussed. So B is the right answer. Okay, we'll discuss some more regions. Okay, Lothal and Dholavira, Sutkarnam, Rakhigadi. So this is actually the state of Gujarat today, which I'm making with blue sketch pen, blue pen. Okay. Now here is Lothal, very famous city for dockyard, right? But there are other famous cities like this is Dholavira. So this region is called as Run of Kutch. So in Run of Kutch, there is a region, there's a Indus Valley civilization site called as Dholavira. It was famous for reservoir. That is what you should be knowing. Okay. Similarly, there was one more option, Sutka. Here it is. It is in Pakistan's Balochistan region. Balochistan region of Pakistan or Balochistan province. So these are the things you should know. Dholavira was added in UNESCO World Heritage Sites also. Okay. So that's what you should know. So here the right answer is B is the right answer. And I have told you about Rakhigadi, one of the largest site of Indus Valley civilization in Haryana. Okay, and I'm sure you must be aware that the Indus Valley civilization was somewhere around 2600 to 1900. If you are not able to recall, you can remember like this: 2500 BC to 1500 BC. And I'm sure you must be aware. So BC goes in the reverse direction before Christ. So it is written like this. This is the larger number. This will be the smaller number. Okay. The next one is which city of Indus Valley civilization was famous for reservoir? And I have just told you. And that's why I believe that you should be answering it. So the right answer actually is famous for reservoir is Dholavira. Here it is in Kutch district, Run of Kutch district. So C is the right answer to this question. So India gets 48th UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Run of Kutch region. Okay. So Dholavira, it is one of the Harappan city, means a city of Harappan civilization. It is not referring to Harappa, that city of Harappa. Harappan city means it is talking about Indus Valley civilization city. That is what it means. And it's actually Dholavira. So this is in this region. We have discussed it. Now, one more thing. Recently, we have seen addition of some UNESCO World Heritage Site. And this is a favorite topic of MBA exams. I mean, GK exams. Wherever you will find GK. The favorite topic is UNESCO, where it is headquartered, Paris, France. So how many UNESCO World Heritage Sites are there currently? So this year, the 44th one was added. We were having 43 sites till last year. Now 43 plus 1 were added. So now it's 44th site. So this 44th site actually is what we call it as Maratha military landscape, 44th one. And I have taken a separate class on it because there is one more thing that can be asked. And that is about UNESCO's Creative City Network. This also we have discussed in this class. Please watch this class. This is very, very important. UNESCO's Creative Cities Network. In that, Lucknow has been recently added in the gastronomy section. Gastronomy means related with food. Okay, the next one is which city of Indus Valley civilization was famous for Great Bath? So I think you should be knowing it, and I think we have seen some films on this also as well, Bollywood films, Mohenjo-daro. So here you will find there was actually a sort of a place where there was a bath, and like this. This is very famous, Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro. The best thing is that even today it is said that it does not leak. Like, I mean, it is still working properly if you use it. So that's the idea behind this. Perhaps it is related with some religious bath. That is what it actually talks about. D is the right answer to this question. And where it is? Mohenjo-daro, it is in which region? Where you will find which province? I've just told you Mohenjo-daro, here it is. This region is a region of Pakistan's Sindh region. So the answer would be Sindh, Pakistan. This is the place where today Mohenjo-daro is. Okay? Famous for Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro. Okay? The next one is Rakhigadi is an Indus Valley civilization site found in which region? This also we have discussed it. And perhaps now this is the largest Indus Valley civilization site according to various scholars. Because earlier there were news that perhaps Mohenjo-daro was the largest Indus Valley civilization site. But now there are some reports saying that now it is Rakhigadi. So A is the right answer in Haryana, the biggest Harappan site perhaps. So this is an article in 2014 that got published in the Hindu newspaper. Okay. So where exactly it is? Let me show. Yes, here it is. So somewhere here you will find Delhi. So near to Delhi, this is Haryana. Haryana is like triangular shape, roughly triangular shaped. Now, this is a very interesting question. So on the left side are foreign travelers. And on the right side are the kings during whose tenure actually these foreign travelers came. And these are very important. Please try to remember it. We have seen multiple questions from here. Multiple times it gets repeated. So Fahian was a Chinese traveler. He came during the time of Chandragupta II. Huansang came during the time of very famous Harshavardhan, where Allahabad Assembly happened, etc. And I'm sure you must be aware. Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador sent by Seleucus Nicator to the court of Chandragupta Maurya in Patliputra, which is today called as Patna. Greek ambassador. He wrote a book called as Indica, which later on led to India being named. So India name comes from the same Indica book by Megasthenes. He was the ambassador of Seleucus Nicator. Megasthenes was sent by Seleucus. ऐसी होगा ना spelling, Seleucus Nicator. And Seleucus Nicator was successor of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. Okay, the next is Thomas Munro. So Thomas Roe, of course, William Hawkins, Thomas Roe, they came during time of Jahangir, right? And Ibn Battuta, very famous Moroccan traveler, came during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Ibn Battuta was from Morocco. So Morocco, modern day, you will find it in West Africa. It is double C, okay? MOROCCO, okay? So please remember these names. Try to remember it. We have seen multiple questions from here, okay? Like Fahian and Huansang are favorite questions. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. Yes, let's move on to the next one. Again, they're talking about UNESCO World Heritage Sites and the states where they are located. Some of them were actually at that time in the news, but we are actually wanted to highlight those prominent places. Like Khajuraho group of temples, very famous in Madhya Pradesh. Kandariya Mahadev temples, etc. and all. Kakate Radheshwar temple, it was added in UNESCO World Heritage Site at that time. So the answer is Telangana. Then Dholavira, I have told you. Reservoir, Indus Valley Civilization site in Gujarat, in Kutch district, or Kutch region of Gujarat. Group of monuments at Hampi. Hampi was the capital of Vijayanagar Empire, which is now in Karnataka. Capital of Vijayanagar Empire, very famous empire in South India or in Karnataka region. Okay? Dhyan rakhiyega. Then we have Kanchenjunga National Park. It is actually in Sikkim. This is the only mixed site in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So we have total 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites right now. I have told you to watch the video also. So we have 36 cultural sites, 7 natural sites, and 1 mixed site. Mixed means both cultural as well as natural. And that one mixed site is Kanchenjunga. Okay, which is in Sikkim. Kanchenjunga is the 3rd highest peak of the world after Mount Everest and Karakoram. K2 peak. So these are the basic things you should be knowing about. Okay, है ना? यहाँ पे सिक्किम है ना? So somewhere here you will find Kanchenjunga. And near to it you will find Teesta river flowing like this. Okay, the next is, who is the first Field Marshal of independent India? Field Marshal means 5-star rank officer. So generally, you should be knowing that our Army Chief, Air Force Chief, Navy Chief, or Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, Army Chief, Air Force Chief, and there's one more, Navy Chief. All are actually 4-star rank officer. Sometimes in certain cases, they are given 5-star. For example, in Air Force Chief, we have seen one incident where 5-star was given to Captain, what was his name? Air Chief Marshal Udham Singh, I think that was his name. In Navy, we have not seen any 5-star rank officer, but in Army, we have seen 2 occasions. So the first Field Marshal, which is the first 5-star rank officer in Army, in the category of Army, was Sam Manekshaw, and the second was K.M. Cariappa. He was the second person to be given Field Marshal or 5-star rank. First one was Sam Manekshaw, sir, and he's actually during 1970s war. I think he was the head Army chief as well. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Literary works with their authors. Okay. So literary works and authors you have to match actually. So this is actually very famous. Mudra Rakshaks by Vishakha Datta and Mricha Katika by Sudrak. Abhigyan Shakuntalam by Kalidas, Rasa Manjari by Krishnadeva, and Harsha Charitra about Harshavardhan, and it was written by the court poet of Harshavardhan, Banabhatta. Okay. Harshavardhan is the same king and in his rule. Harsh Charitra is about Harshavardhan. He was the king of North India in 7th century. Okay, and during his rule, Huan Sang came to India, the Chinese traveler. Similarly, Krishnadeva Raya was the most powerful ruler of Vijayanagar Empire in Karnataka region. That also you should be knowing about. Okay. Okay. Mircha Katika. Okay. Little clay cart. It's actually written by Sudrak, right? So you can read about it in detail. Similarly, Mudra Rakshas by Vishakha Dutt narrates the ascent of the king Chandragupta Maurya coming to power. So that is being written as a story by Vishakha Dutt. Similarly, we have Shakuntalam, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, very famous, written by Kalidas. Kalidas has actually written a lot of books, and I'm sure you must have heard his name. Next, we have Krishnadeva Raya. He wrote two famous books, Madalasa Charitam and Rasa Manjari, very famous book. Then Amukta Malyada. These are the prominent books written by Krishnadeva Raya, the most powerful ruler of Vijayanagar Empire, most successful and powerful ruler, it is said by many historians. Okay? Okay, so please remember it. We have seen multiple times these questions getting repeated, so you should know it. Because even if one or two gets repeated, you can, like, with the help of match the following, you can reach to the answers. That's the idea behind this. Which of the following is not one of the UNESCO World Heritage Site? Very interesting question, and the answer actually was Jim Corbett National Park is not a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and currently, that is today. So you can see it here. So these are the 36 cultural sites. Agra Fort, Ajanta Caves, Nalanda, Sanchi, right? Churches, Dholavira in 2021 added. Similarly, in 2024, Chaira Doi Madam Aham dynasty from Assam got added. And this year, that is in 2025, we have seen Maratha military landscape getting added. This is very important. So it has 12 forts, out of which 11 is in Maharashtra, not all 12. And that one left is actually in Tamil Nadu, called as Jingi Fort or Gingi Fort. Okay. Okay, so these are prominent ones. Hoysala temples, this is, you will find it in the state of Karnataka again. In 2023, it was added. Shanti Niketan, related with the life of Rabindranath Tagore ji in West Bengal, it was added. 2023. You can see it here, and these are 7 natural sites. You can see. And one is Bagh. This also we have discussed. Mountain railways of India, like what we are talking about, like Shimla toy train, etc. These are all coming under that mountain railways of India. Because one of the first option was talking about that. And Historic City Ahmedabad, Great Living Chola temples, all are there. Chola temples is here. Hampi monuments is here. Historic City Ahmedabad. Okay. Kakatiya Rudresha temple, this was asked in the exam in matching, right? So I would say that the entire UNESCO World Heritage Sites are very, very important. Please read it. Okay, these are very important ones. The next is, which of the following were not included in Government of India Act 1935? It was a slightly difficult question. So the answer was actually separation of separation of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa from India. It was not mentioned. Otherwise, the other options were mentioned. So these were the things that were mentioned in Government of India Act 1935. Separation of Burma from British India. Because I'll tell you, so this Burma was being controlled by British at that time. So after 1935, they said, okay, we will rule it separately. Okay, that's what is being talked about. Then Sindh was separated from Bombay. So this was Sindh and this was Bombay Presidency. Both were actually one. Even Aden was also controlled by Bombay Presidency. Okay, so Aden was also detached from India. Sindh was separated from Bombay. Okay. Then Bihar and Orissa got split. So Bihar and Orissa was like this, and 1935 they decided to split. So it took, I think, 1 year, 1936 May, I think they got split. So these are the things. Federal Public Service Commission establishment of RBI. It happened in 1934, but of course it was mentioned in Government of India Act 1935 as well. Federal Court was established, but option D was not mentioned. Okay. The next one is First Battle of Panipat. So you should know these small things. Okay. First Battle of Panipat between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi, 1526. And who won it? Babur actually defeated Ibrahim Lodi, so ended the Delhi Sultanate got ended and Mughal Empire got established. So yes, sir, these are the facts you should be knowing about. The Second Battle of Panipat between Akbar and Hemu, in which year? So the right answer is option C, 1556. Again, Akbar won it, supported by Bairam Khan. So C is the right answer. So these are basic knowledges that you should be knowing. The next is third battle of Panipat. Ahmad Shah Abdali versus Maratha. Ahmad Shah Abdali, Ahmad Shah Durrani bhi likhte hai sometimes. Ahmad Shah Durrani from Durrani Empire, somewhere in the Afghanistan region, modern day. So he came from there. So 1761. Ahmad Shah Abdali won. So that's what you should know. C is the right answer to this question. So Panipat, where it is? Actually, it is in Haryana. So this is actually Delhi. And this is Haryana. When you go north from Delhi, you will find Sonipat. Then after that, here you will find Panipat. Okay. So you have to just move from Delhi north towards Chandigarh. So if you get a chance to go from Delhi to Chandigarh via train, or I think by car also, you will get Panipat. Okay. Again, Battle of Plassey, very interesting. It happened between which two kings? And you should know the answers. Like these are basic facts that are being taught in the school days as well. Sirajud-Dowlah versus British, led by Robert Clive. And in which year Battle of Plassey happened? And Plassey is in which region, which state today? This also you should be telling. You should be knowing, I would say. So Battle of Plassey, 1757, exactly 100 years before 1857 revolt. And it is today you will find it in West Bengal state. Okay. So B is the right answer to this question. English East India Company and Nawab of Bengal. Robert Clive. So this is West Bengal. This is Kolkata. And this is actually Plassey. Sometimes it is written Palasi, essay like this. Okay, this you should be knowing. These are basic facts that you should be knowing. Now let's talk something about Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi, who came from South Africa on which date? 9 January 1917, 9 January 1915, 2nd February 1915, 7 January 1915. If you know the answer, please answer me in the live chat. I'll be very happy to know. So the right answer to this question is 9th January 1915. And that is why 9th January today is celebrated as what? Non-resident Indian Day. Non-resident Indian Day. Okay. Also known in Hindi as Pravasiya Bharatiya Divas. Pravasiya Bharatiya Divas. I think this would be the spelling in Hindi. Okay. So B is the right answer. Yes. प्रवासी लिखते हैं. अच्छा, प्रवासी भारतीय, प्रवासी लिख दिया ना, प्रवासी कर दो, ठीक है. So प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस, non-resident Indian Day, 9th January, because on this day in 9th January 1915, Gandhiji returned back from South Africa. Okay. Now, after coming back in 1915, Gandhiji did first Satyagraha in India in which year? This is very important, and these are being asked in multiple exam. First Satyagraha of Gandhi, which year? So he came to India and Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. Okay. So first Satyagraha of Gandhiji, Champaran, which is actually a district in Bihar. Okay. So here it is. This is the Bihar, state of Bihar. Here you will find Champaran. Now we have this district got split into West Champaran and East Champaran, but at that time it was called as Champaran. 1917, Gandhiji's first Satyagraha, and it was against indigo movement, indigo plant. Like basically, it was supporting the indigo farmers because actually it was supporting the farmers because they were forced to grow indigo by British. So there were some laws. We are not going in that detail. That was called as Teen Katia system. But just understand it. So Gandhiji supported the farmers, indigo farmers, because they are being forced to grow indigo by the British because of some rule. Okay. The next is similarly, we have seen the second Satyagraha that happened somewhere here in 1918, and that's called as Ahmedabad mill worker strike. Mill workers were demanding salary hike. And then we have somewhere here is Kheda, 1918. Kheda Satyagraha happened. And that was again, like farmers were saying that their revenue should be, or land revenue. The British should not collect land tax or land revenue because their farming has failed. So ideally, if my farm, I could not get farm productivity. So ideally, I should not be like forced to pay something as a tax. So there were some rules, but of course, British were again asking for the land revenue. And that's why the farmers were demanding that, okay, please, you should not take these things. So Gandhiji supported that also. Okay? That is what you should know. The next is Rowlatt Act, which gave police power to arrest anyone without trial, was passed away in which year? So this was problematic because ideally, if you are living in any country, any democratic or country where there is due process of law is followed, for example, let's say in India, if you are arrested by police, the police is supposed to produce you in front of a judicial magistrate, or I would say a judge, within 24 hours. Why? Because police cannot be a judge, cannot become a judge. There has to be a separation of powers. I hope you are aware. So, of course, without trial, the police cannot put someone in custody for long. So what happened was actually, basically, they passed a law in 1919, in March 1919, and they said, okay, we will arrest anyone and keep it in jail for 2 years without trial. We will not produce the person before the court. This is actually violation of principle of natural justice, violation of due process of law, etc. and all. So B is the right answer. So March 1919, Imperial Legislative Council, etc. It was passed and it was called as Black Act. So many people actually protested against it. In the entire India, there were Rowlatt Satyagraha, which is considered as the first All India Satyagraha, because Champaran, Ahmedabad, Kheda were limited to that particular district. So this is first All India Satyagraha of Gandhiji. All India protest, right? What happened was, when this All India Satyagraha happened in Punjab, there were two leaders. Their name were Saifuddin Kichliu and Satyapal. These were again protesting against British. In Punjab, against this Rowlatt Act. So these two were arrested. And what happened was, when these two people were arrested, people actually gathered in Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, which is a very prominent city. Amritsar, which is a very prominent city in Punjab. So what happened was, they sat. Why? Because the people actually started protesting that please release our leader, Saifuddin Kichliu and Satyapal. So that's why the people sat. And at that time was Baisakhi Day. Baisakhi is actually a very famous festival being celebrated in the region of Punjab. So many people had come from village, etc. and all for attending melas, etc. So those people actually who were actually in the city for participating in different types of religious fair, they also came. Different types of festivals. They also came in Jallianwala Bagh because they actually wanted to support the cause of Indians, right? And unfortunately, British came inside. British officers, General Dyer came and ordered to open the fire because martial law was there, and unfortunately many people died there. So again, the date is 13th April 1919. This is infamously called as Jallianwala Bagh massacre. I'm sure you must have heard about that. So this is what you should know. R.E.H. Dyer, Brigadier General R.E.H. Dyer, was the army officer who was there in this regard. So A is the right answer to this question. So here it is. So this is the state of Punjab. So this is Punjab, Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar. Okay, let's move on. So this is actually the Jallianwala Bagh. Okay, one more thing I want to highlight was, when Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened, there was a person called as R.E.H. Dyer. He was the army officer who entered that ground, that Bagh. But there was actually a governor, lieutenant governor of Punjab, who had ordered. And his name was also Dyer, but his name was Michael O'Dwyer. He was the lieutenant governor of Punjab. So when he actually went back to England, he was assassinated by Udham Singh. And he actually was from the Ghadar party and HSRA. I'm sure you must have heard about, I think we have seen films in this regard also about Udham Singh. And he used to call himself, while he was in custody, he used to call himself as Ram Muhammad Singh Azad, referring to the three major religions of India. And basically, he wanted to convey the message that we should be united right now at the time when we are fighting the British. So that is what you should be knowing. And I think we have seen films in this regard also. The next is Permanent Settlement Act or Zamindari Settlement Act was passed. So this was actually a land revenue system of British. Land revenue system of British in Bengal region, modern day Bengal region, passed by Lord Cornwallis in 1793. Okay. So that's actually very famous or infamous, whatever you can say. So this region, Bengal, was quite huge at that time. Ye samajh lo, this was actually something Bengal. 1793 Permanent Settlement Act by Lord Cornwallis. In fact, it is said that many historians say that this is the reason why we have prominent zamindari system where there in Bihar, UP and those regions and Bengal regions. Similarly, we have in this region and this region, we have seen what we call it as Raiyatwari settlement. And this was brought by Alexander Thomas Monroe and Alexander Reed, 1820. So the people behind this. Okay. So this was the land revenue settlement in this region. Similarly, we have in Punjab, Haryana region, we have something called as Mahalwari system. And that was by Holt Mackenzie. Okay. And you can see Thomas Monroe, Raiyatwari settlement. 1820. C is the right answer to this question. Thomas Monroe and Alexander Reed. Next is Mahalwari system we have discussed. Again introduced in 1822. Again some same year, roughly same year. Yeah, 1820. Holt Mackenzie. ठीक है. So this region, Punjab, Haryana region है ना. देखो क्या लिखा हुआ है. Central India and Punjab, UP, Northwest. अच्छा, Central India भी. So roughly like this. This is Mahalwari settlement. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. Now, this is actually the last question. It's a very prominent question and asked in different exams. Doctrine of Lapse was brought by whom? Lord Dalhousie. This is very important. 1848. Why it is important? Because it says, I'm sure you must be aware that actually we have seen two types of India during British time. So there were British provinces which were directly ruled by British, and there were princely states. So British made the rule that if you are a king of a princely state and you do not have a biological son, not a biological son means if you have adopted a son, then this will not be valid. If you have biological son, you can pass on your kingship to your son. Only about son, they are saying, not daughters. But if you do not have a biological son and you have adopted a son and you want to give your kingdom after your death to your adopted son, that cannot be possible now after Doctrine of Lapse. And against this, actually, Rani Lakshmi Bai fought. Rani Lakshmi Bai had actually an adopted son, and she wanted to give that kingship, or whatever you can say, that kingdom to her adopted son. But it was conflicting with the Doctrine of Lapse. That is why perhaps one of the reasons why she revolted against 1857, against British in 1857 revolt was against Doctrine of Lapse, started by very famous or infamous Lord Dalhousie, 1848. Very, very important, actually. We have seen multiple questions from this. You should remember it. Okay, so after that 1857 revolt happened, and you should know that who was the Governor General at that time. So Lord Canning was the Governor General of India when 1857 revolt happened. So we are stopping this class here. Okay, and please subscribe to the channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.